Hey guys, so I'm doing a tarot reading for you guys today. I had a completely different video planned and I ended up feeling really drawn to my tarot cards instead, so I'm gonna see what messages come out for you guys today. So far we have the Two of Swords, the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Page of Swords, and the Two of Cups. There's a part of yourself that you're hiding. And it's a part of yourself that has been hurt in the past by other people who wanted to take from you. Someone saw your light. Someone saw the internal beauty that you had within yourself. They saw your heart. They saw your emotional intelligence. And they didn't like it because it made them feel uncomfortable. And it made them feel uncomfortable because they were so stuck in their mind. They had completely tapped out of their body. They weren't as connected to their emotional embodiment as you were at the time. So what ended up happening was they tried to take that from you. With the Seven of Swords in reverse, there was something you had that they wanted and they couldn't get because they couldn't find it internally within themselves. They felt the need to tear you down in order to build themselves up because they didn't know how to feel confident on their own. And they saw that beauty and that love and that light that you held inside of you and knew that they couldn't match it at that moment, even if it was only subconscious. And they tried to do everything in their power to make you smaller and to dim your light. That's the energy that's coming through today. They made you feel like you had to get stuck in your mind. They didn't want you sitting in your emotions because your emotions are where your biggest power is. And your emotions are the things that manifest all the beautiful things into your life. When we talk about manifestation, when we talk about visualization, the number one thing so many people will say to you is that you have to feel. You have to feel the emotion. You have to feel the embodiment of who you want to become before you become it. You have to feel happy that you've got this brand new car, brand new house or partner or whatever before you actually have it. It's always your feeling. It's always the emotion. Because your emotions are the things that communicate to the universe. The universe reads energy. So when you're emitting this emotion of this happiness, this love, this light, the universe will reflect back to you what you were feeling. And that is where your power is. You are an incredibly emotionally intelligent person. And I feel like the people from your past have wanted to block that side of you because they saw that power, whether it be consciously or subconsciously. This could have happened when you were a child. You could have been in kindergarten while this happened. You could have been in high school. And there were people around you that felt intimidated by your light. And instead of joining with you and joining hands and wanting to meet themselves at the level of depth that you met yourself at, they wanted to shut you down because it made them feel more comfortable. And I feel like part of you was shut down. I feel like you did kind of succumb to this quite a bit and you did get stuck up in your mind. And right now you're being called to find that part of you that you had when you were a child. We have the Seven of Pentacles, but she was in reverse. And when she's upright, you can see her abundance. You can see her beauty. You can see all the things that she's put hard work and effort into and all the fruits of her labor that are coming to fruition. But because she came out reversed, it's like that part of you that other people tried to suppress is still suppressed. I feel like you did give in to these people who wanted to make yourself smaller, and you did it as a way to protect yourself. You didn't do it intentionally. You did this as a coping mechanism because the situations that you were in at that time were so painful and so difficult, and you probably couldn't escape from them, that you had to reform yourself and reshape yourself to suit the environment that you were in order to keep yourself safe. And right now, the guidance that you're getting is, I think part of you still feels like you're in that position. Part of you still feels like you're unsafe. And it's now become such a default mechanism within yourself to stay up in your mind and up in your head instead of fully embodying these emotions. You have to go back to the beginning again. We have the Page of Coins and the Two of Cups. You have to find that part of yourself again. You have to dig deep and dig inside of yourself to get to that place of emotional embodiment that you used to have, that you used to naturally have. This is your heart. This is where your light is. This is the sunshine inside of you. This is showing me the sun card in my mind's eye. How do you get that light back? There's this really great imbalance. We have The Six of Coins, but it's in reverse. What was out of balance was actually the environment that you were in, the people that you were around. There was imbalances within them where they lacked confidence. But their way of overcompensating for that was to try and overproject this false sense of confidence and this false identity into the physical world as their coping mechanism to make them feel safe. I feel like you triggered a lot of people in your lifetime. Not intentionally, in a negative way, but just you shining your light so brightly around other people who don't have the emotional capacity that you have has triggered them to a point where they felt the need to lash out at you and either use you as their emotional outlet or try and make you smaller somehow. You're asked to begin in a beginner's mind. You're asked to go back to that past version of yourself that you were and start over. And it's going to feel hard. It's going to feel alien and unfamiliar to you because your mind is going to want to default back to being in control. Your ego wants to be in control. I feel like there's part of you that hasn't been leading with your soul recently. And if you're struggling to bring in manifestations and you're struggling to create this dream life around you, I can guarantee you it's because you're not tapped into your emotions as much as you should be. Because for you specifically, the person I'm talking to right now, your emotional embodiment is your power. Other people can manifest with their mind. They can manifest by visualization. They can manifest just by saying affirmations over and over again in their heads. But different people manifest in different ways, and different things work for different people. So if you're finding that you're struggling to create your dream life, and you're doing your journaling, and you're doing your meditation, and you're visualizing everything, and it's still not coming through, it's because you're not including your emotions. And your emotions is where your power is. You have to incorporate everything. It's your mind, body, and spirit. You can't just use your mind all the time. And I know it feels safer to stay up in your mind because you feel less vulnerable, but it's through that vulnerability, that is where your power is at. And you were so good at sitting in that vulnerability. That past version of yourself that you were that was able to tap into that light, that was so natural for you. We have the Temperance at the bottom of the deck. You're being asked to move into a new phase, and that's where this beginner mind is. And it'll pick up speed as you go along, because we have the Eight of Wands and the Emperor right after the Page of Wands. You'll find it difficult to begin with, to try and sit back in with your emotions again. You'll find you'll default back to this current version of yourself that's stuck in the mind a lot. But it won't last for long. You're going to grow very quickly and realize the more effort that you put into your sitting with your emotional body, the further ahead you're going to get and the faster you will get. I'm seeing a slingshot being pulled back in my mind to shoot forward, or like a bow and arrow being pulled back to shoot forward. You feeling like you're having to start from the beginning again, and starting this time from this emotional embodiment, it's going to feel like you're getting pulled backwards. It's going to feel like you're not moving forwards just for a short time. These emotions are going to shoot you so far forwards in such a short amount of time, but you just have to persevere with it. Don't try and block out your mind. Don't try and say to yourself, oh, well, I have to just sit in my emotions. You need both. We have the Justice. See how it's balanced? See the sword and the feather together? And see the difference between the scale here that we had originally, the coins reversed? You tipped so far into the opposite side, the opposite realm of where you were supposed to be, and it's now time to tip the scales back again. Consciously make the decision. See, your emotions send signals to your subconscious mind. And the more you can immerse your subconscious mind in something, the easier the transition in manifestation is. You can impress anything on your subconscious mind and it will manifest. But the way that you can do that, the way that makes everything so much easier and smoother, is by using your emotions. The more you can feel something, the more your subconscious mind will accept that as the truth. And your emotions are also your number one way of communicating with the universe, because you're constantly emitting a frequency. You're constantly communicating with the universe through your emotions. Your emotions are the strongest form of vibration in your body. The universe does not talk in words. It talks in energy and movement of that energy. The more you can expand that energy inside of you, the more you can feel these emotions, the deeper the connection you have with the universe. Your emotions are the most powerful way that you can actually communicate with the universe. What you give out will be reflected back to you. Hearing you might resonate with water, you might be an Aquarius, Pisces, Gemini, Capricorn, Libra even. You have a very soft soul. You have someone who has a very gentle heart, and maybe you were naive in the past. I'm hearing you never thought other people could move in the way that they had because you would never have moved the way that they had. You would never have put other people down in the same way that they put you down. So when it happened to you, you never expected it. Maybe you were blindsided by it. Maybe you were naive to the world growing up and you didn't realize that other people weren't gonna have that same open, loving heart that you had. Maybe it took you by surprise. Maybe that surprise was the thing that hurt you the most. And that was why you hermited. That's why you went into yourself. That's why you now use your mind more than your emotions, because that's what everyone else around you was doing, and that's what felt safe to you at the time. Now you're being called to shift and change. You're being called to step into the version of yourself that you were once in the past, but now with this discernment, now with this new knowing, now with this new power, where you have the strength of your mind that you've honed in over the years, which was a beautiful thing that you needed to do, because now you can use your mind to your advantage. That was a muscle that maybe you hadn't used before, but now it's time to bring everything into balance again. It's time to have this equilibrium come to pass. You need both. You need your mind and your emotions. It's the mind, body, spirit. It's time to step further into this power and start again, but this time starting from knowing, starting from discernment, starting from having this power that you've created with yourself, and moving forward with this open, loving heart again. Knowing that you're now in a different environment and you don't need to protect yourself half as much as you used to. Still have discernment, but don't feel that you're having to shut these parts of yourself down completely in order to protect yourself anymore, because you're not where you once were. I think I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this helped. Bye.